I think that was cool. If you are a beginner in 3D and you really want to get a similar result like this result, you need to stick with me until the end of this tutorial series. Okay, let's get started. Let's say that's you and you are new in the 3D world. As you see guys, there are a lot to learn in the 3D world, but you don't need to learn everything. I created this mind map guys to show you how important to research before you get in the 3D world. To keep this tutorial series simple, I'm gonna show you just the important sections that we need to learn to create our own characters. Okay, let's get started with an idea or with an inspiration. Wait a minute, what if I don't have any idea? What should I do? Well, this is really easy. Go to Google and search for the idea that you are looking for, or go to ArtStation. ArtStation is the leading showcase forum for games, media, and entertainment artists. Let's say you found some inspirations and you need to use them. So what is next? The next step is ViewRef. ViewRef is a free 3D tool. The idea is to mix that inspirations to get your own idea. But we are not able to steal the art from other artists. Guys, this is really important. All what we need to have is an inspiration from that images. So let's get back into ViewRef to upload the images that we need. In my case, I have a second monitor. That's why I'm gonna use my second monitor for ViewRef. If you don't have, you can print out your references on a paper. That's really not a big deal. As you see guys, I already have the reference images. You can download them in the link down below, they are free. Alright, now we need to have a 3D software to create this character. There are many 3D softwares to create 3D and characters. But in my opinion, Blender is the king and is the real winner. Because Blender is free and you can create everything inside the software. So let's jump into it. So guys, before I waste your time, this part is for absolute beginners in Blender. If you already know how to navigate and to use Blender, I wanna recommend to escape this part. How can I get Blender? Blender is available for download on Windows, Macs, and Linux. You can download Blender under www.blender.org, or you can follow the link in the description below. When we starting Blender, the splash screen appears in the center of the window as you see. Well, this box is popped up anytime if you open Blender. In this area, we can create new projects or open recently opened blend files. To close the splash screen, click anywhere outside the splash screen or hit the escape key. To open the splash screen again, click on this icon and here we go. This area called the 3D viewport, and you will spend the most of time using Blender in this area. And the question is, how to navigate Blender? Hold the middle mouse wheel and click to rotate your view in the 3D world. Scroll the mouse wheel up and down to zoom in or out, or hold Ctrl middle mouse wheel. By holding Shift and the middle mouse wheel, we can move in the 3D world just like that. To focus on one object, hit the period key on the numpad. Mouse left click to select any object. Left click on empty space to deselect. Also, you can press A to select everything and A twice to deselect. By click and drag on the left mouse click, we can select a specific area. The hotkey for that is B on the keyboard. As you see, this is our camera and light. Hit 0 numpad to look through the camera, 0 numpad again to get back into the 3D viewport. Don't worry, I will explain the camera settings in another video. Hit 1 numpad to go to the front view, Ctrl numpad to go to the back view, 3 numpad to go to the right side view, Ctrl 3 numpad to go to the left side view, 7 numpad to go to the top view, Ctrl 7 numpad to go to the bottom view, 5 numpad to go to the orthographic view, 5 again to get out there. You can find all these shortcuts by going to the view, viewpoint and choose one of them. Also, you can click on this gizmo to rotate around the 3D world. or click on this icon to zoom in or out. Click here to look through the camera. And you can click here to switch to the orthographic view. Let's say we want to pull this cube. What should we do? Well, it's easy. You can select the Move tool in the quick menu. In the 3D world, we have 3 dimensions: the X-axis, the Z-axis, and the Y-axis. By click and drag on these arrows, we can move the selected object along that axis. The hotkey for that is G for grab. Hit GX to move along the X-axis only. Hit GZ to move along the Z-axis only. GY to move along the Y-axis only. What if we want to rotate this cube? What should we do? Again, we can check out our quick menu to select the rotate tool. By click and drag on the color rings, we can rotate along the single axis. The white ring can be used to rotate along our view vector. If we click on the inner ring, we can rotate freely along the 3 axes. So hit R for rotate, Rx to rotate along the X-axis only, Rz to rotate along the Z-axis only, Ry to rotate along the Y-axis only. And you can hit R twice to rotate freely. And now let's say we want to scale this cube. Go to our quick menu and select the scale tool. You can left click and drag to scale along a single axis. By click and drag on the little white ring, we can scale the cube bigger or smaller. Or we can use the hotkeys for that. Hit S for scale, SX to scale along the X-axis only, SZ to scale along the Z-axis, SY to scale along the Y-axis. This gizmo is for all orders like scale, move, and rotate in one tool. How can I customize Blender layout? Hit Ctrl-Alt-Space to full screen your work area. Hit Ctrl-Alt-Space again to go back to the regular view. Ctrl-Space to maximize your work area. Here we still have the bar on the top and the information bar on the bottom. Ctrl-Space again to go back to the regular view. As you know, 1 numpad to front view, 3 numpad to side view, and 7 numpad to top view. But what if we like to split this area quickly into 3 pieces? Just hit Ctrl-Alt-Q, Ctrl-Alt-Q again to go back to the regular view. Also, we can split a new area with mouse left click and drag on the corner. Click here, and now we can change this area into different editors. By click and drag here, we can join the areas together. Hold Ctrl, click here and drag to swap between these areas. Or mouse right click on the borders and choose between split or swap. If you have multiple monitors and you want to add a new Blender workspace window, you can hold Shift left mouse click and drag on the corner here just like that. To save our customizing, go to File, Default, Save Setup Files. Just keep that in mind. If we save the customizing, it's gonna be the default setting for new file. Okay, select the cube, 1 numpad to go to the front view, Alt-Z to switch to X-ray mode or click here, GZ to move the cube along the Z-axis. Now we have the origin in the center of this cube. Go to Object, Set Origin, Origin to 3D Cursor. If you don't know what 3D Cursor is 3D Cursor is this white red circle. 3D Cursor defines where newly added objects are placed and can also be used to manually position or orient the transform gizmo. Okay, one more time, go to Object, Set Origin, Origin to 3D Cursor. Hit N, go to Item menu. Now we need to decrease the height of the cube on the Z-axis about 1.7. As you see guys, we used this cube to get the right height of the character. 1 numpad to go to the front view. Go with Shift A, Image, Reference, or by click on drag on the image we can upload it into Blender. Select the image, S to scale, G to grab. From Properties, click on Image icon, go to Opacity, activate opacity and bring the opacity down. If you didn't like to see the photo from the back, just click on front. 1 numpad again to go to the front view. Important is guys, from the front view we need to line up the middle of the character on the Z-axis. I think it's good. Select the cube, we don't need it anymore, X and delete it. Select the Move Gizmo, go with Shift D to duplicate, mouse right click. Now hit RZ90 to rotate around the Z axis. 3 numpad to go to the side view. In the side view, we need to move along the Y axis only. When you are done, now we can push the image back along the X axis only. Select this one and move it back along the Y axis only. Go to Outliner, click here to add a new folder, double click and rename it as an example reference. Hold Shift, select this one and this one. By move and drag, we can move the images into the new folder. Just keep that in mind, this is a big project, that's why we need to organize the outliner. Okay, for this project we're gonna start with the head. That's why we need to upload the new reference images for the head. By click and drag we can upload the new image. G to grab, S to scale. Why I'm doing that? Because I believe that's gonna be easier to understand for beginners. As you see guys, nothing's crazy here. Activate the opacity, bring the opacity down, and try to line up the head with the reference image. So just like that. Now select this one, Shift D to duplicate, mouse right click, RZ90 to rotate around the Z axis, 3 numpad to go to the side view and push the image just along the Y axis. Okay, push this image back along the X axis. Select this one and push this image back along the Y axis. Okay, now we can rename the images from the outliner. As I said before guys, this is very important and helpful for you. So it's really important to keep the outliner organized. It's not a big deal, you can rename the images in a minute. When you are done, click here and select this one. Now when we uncheck this error from the outliner, we can select the images accidentally. Okay, now we can hide the body reference images because we're gonna start with the head. But before we start, we need to save the project. Ctrl S to save, rename this project, and let's go. Alright, we are in the front view. By click and drag on the corner here, we can split a new area. 3 numpad to go to the side view. And to disappear the toolbar, and now we are ready to go. Go with Shift A, Mesh, Cube. Hit Ctrl 2 to add a subsurf modifier. We can go to the modifier icon to see this modifier. You can click here and apply the subsurf modifier. GZ to move along the Z axis, S to scale. Now from the side view, we need to move the sphere a bit along the Y axis. Hit Ctrl A and choose All Transforms to reset the location rotation scale into default. Select the sphere, go with Ctrl Tab and choose Sculpt Mode. Don't worry guys, I'm using the mouse right now. We didn't need to use a graphic tablet or something else. We're good just with the mouse. From the Sculpt Mode, we need to activate the geometry along the X axis. I'm not gonna explain everything in Sculpt Mode because it's a modeling tutorial series. Please keep that in mind. Alright, select the grab brush from here or hit G on the keyboard. Hit F to change the radius, Shift F to change the strength. Now go ahead and grab the sphere to follow the reference image lines. Okay, click here, activate wireframe, bring the opacity a little bit down. In this way we are able to see the geometry in the sculpt mode and in the object mode as well. I think it's easy to recognize the face line for this character. It's just there. F to change the radius and try to keep your mesh quad and clean as possible. Hit Ctrl Tab and go to Object Mode again. Tap to Edit Mode. Go with Ctrl R and add a loop cut just right there. Ctrl R again and add another loop cut right there. Alright, Ctrl R again and add a loop cut right there. By holding Ctrl, select all these edges. G twice to edge slide. 3 on the keyboard to go to face select or click here. Now by holding Shift, select all these faces. Now hit I to inset faces. Alright, Alt Z to X-ray mode. Select all these faces. Hit X and delete them. Go to Modifiers, Add Modifier, Mirror Modifier. Make sure to activate clipping in the Mirror Modifier. Now go with Ctrl A, all transforms to reset the location rotation scale to default. Alright, Ctrl Tab and switch into the sculpt mode again. Select the grab brush and now we can define where the eye is gonna be on this head. I think it's not that complicated to understand. But be careful guys, don't go crazy with the grab brush. For now we are trying to find the base shape for the eyes. From the side view we need to push back the mesh with the grab brush a bit, just like that. Just keep that in mind. For now we don't need to go crazy with the details. We're trying to find the base shape. In the X-ray mode it's gonna be easier for you to find the base shape for the eye. Okay, we're good. Ctrl Tab and switch to object mode again. Alright, now we can create the nose. Go with Ctrl R to add a loop cut right there. Tap to edit mode. Now guys, try to keep your mesh quad as possible. It's good to mention that you need to take your time and don't rush. A lot of beginners made this mistake again and again. So please take your time, this is very important. Alright, select this one, hit V to wrap these vertices, Ctrl R and add a loop cut just right there. Okay, by holding Shift, select these 4 vertices. Hit F to fill them. Select this one, hold Shift, select this one, hit G twice to edge slide. Ctrl R and add a loop cut just right there. In this way we avoid to have triangle on our model. Now we can activate the proportional editing. Hit O on the keyboard or click on this icon. By scrolling the mouse wheel we can change the brush radius. Alright, now we need to match the geometry with the side view. By holding Alt mouse left click we can select this loop, hit F to fill. Go to front view and take your time to get right the nose. Alright, from the side view we need to match these vertices with the mouth line. Again and again, make sure guys to keep your mesh quad as possible. 1 numpad to go to the front view, 3 on the keyboard to switch into the face select. By holding Alt, mouse left click, select all these faces. Of course, we can activate this gauge on the mirror modifier to see the effect from the other side. Hit I to inset faces. Important guys to uncheck boundary from this box. One on the keyboard to switch into the vertex select. As you see guys, we need to turn off the proportional editing. Select these vertices and try to create the mouth. Of course, we need to move the vertices from the side view as well. As you see, that starts to look somehow like a mouth. You can of course click here and turn off wireframe effect. It's just a personal preference. Do what you want. From the side view, select the Move Gizmo and try to push these vertices along the y-axis. Okay, to move on we need more vertices. That means we need to add a loop cut just right there. And of course the golden rule, keep your mesh quad as possible. Okay, now we need to add more details around the eyes. That's why we need to add a loop cut just right there. From the side view, move these vertices just like so. Okay, we're good. Hit Ctrl 2 to add a subsurf modifier. 1 numpad to front view, Alt Z to switch into X-ray mode. We can also activate this cage. And now we need to follow the lines for the eyes on the reference image. Hit O on the keyboard to activate the proportional editing, and there we go. Select this vertex, hold Ctrl plus numpad to increase our selection. Hit E to extrude, S to scale. As you see guys, nothing's complicated here, it's just a time-consuming process. Ctrl S to save the project. Go with Ctrl Tab and switch into sculpt mode. Grab the grab brush and start to follow the lines for the reference image. That looks very good in my opinion. Of course we can move on. Alright, we're ready to create the neck. 3 on the keyboard to switch into the face select, hold shift, select all these faces. Hit I to inset faces. Go to vertex select and try to keep this mesh quad as possible. Three on the keyboard again, select all these faces. Hit X and delete them. 1 numpad to vertex select. By holding Alt mouse left click we can select this loop. Go to Edit, Preference, Add-ons. And search for Loop Tools. Activate this add-on. Back to viewport again. Mouse right click, Loop Tools, Circle. S to scale it a bit. Select this vertex and move it just like so. Now we got a perfect circle. Select the circle, hit E to extrude it out. R to rotate it a bit from the side view. In the front view, G to move. Activate the proportional editing and just follow me. So, I'm really happy how it's turned out. Let's move on. At some point we need to add more vertices around the mouth. Hit K to activate the knife tool and make a cut around there. When you're done, hit Enter. Select this vertex, hold shift, select this one and hit J to connect them. Again, select this one and hit J to connect them. And now we have enough geometry to push out the lips just like so. Guess what? Yes, take your time to add more adjustment. When you are happy with that, switch into the sculpt mode. Grab the grab brush and move these vertices back just like so. Ctrl S to save your project, click here and turn off the wireframe effect, mouse right click, shade smooth. For this character we need to keep the level for the subsurf modifier on 1. In my opinion it's more than enough. Okay, 3 on the keyboard to go to face select, hold shift, select all these faces. Go with shift D to duplicate, mouse right click, P enter to separate the object. In the object mode, select the new object and apply the subsurf modifier. Go to modifiers and add a solidify modifier. For the thickness, I'm gonna go with 0.003. Tap to edit mode, A to select everything, S to scale. Make sure to set the pivot point into individual origins. Alright, now we can apply the solidify modifier and add a subsurf modifier again. Go with Ctrl Tab and switch into sculpt mode again. Grab the grab brush and there we go. Of course, you can hit Ctrl space to increase your work area. By holding Shift mouse left click, we can activate the smooth brush. We're gonna use this brush to smooth the mesh from this side. Again, F to change the radius, Shift F to change the strength. Okay, it's time to use the inflat brush. Select this brush and make some thickness right there. G on the keyboard to switch into the grab brush and make some adjustments. When you are done, Ctrl space again to switch back into the regular view. Tap to edit mode, Ctrl R to add a loop cut right there. Hit 3 to switch into face select. Select this face, hit E to extrude. S to scale, just like that. And now maybe you're asking yourself why our mesh are not matching the reference image. Well, I draw this character and it's not that accurate. So it's not that important in this case. You see guys, reference images are highly important. Okay, let's move on. Select this one, E to extrude, S to scale. That looks good. Tap to edit mode, select all these vertices, S to scale them a bit. You can add a loop cut right there to have more control. Well, it's up to you. Okay, by holding Shift mouse right click, we can bring the 3D cursor into there. Go with Shift A, Mesh, Circle. Bring the vertices down into 12. Hit R, X 90 to rotate around the X axis. S to scale. Alt Z to switch into X-ray mode and move this circle along the Y axis. SZ to scale along the Z axis, G to grab, S to scale just like so. Now hit RZ to rotate around the Z axis. From the side view, push this circle back, rotate it a bit. So that looks good to me. Shift S and bring the 3D cursor back into world origin. In the edit mode, A to select everything, E to extrude. From the side view, hit Z twice to extrude just along the Z axis. Alright, Shift H to hide everything except the selected object. Select this loop, F to fill. Select this one, F to fill. In the vertex select this one, hold Shift, select this one and hit J to connect. Select this one and this one, J to connect. One more time, this one and this one, and this one and this one. Okay, make sure to do the same thing from the back. Hit Alt H to unhide everything. Ctrl 1 to add a subsurf modifier. Of course, we can add a loop cut just right there, S to scale. Okay, select this one, go with Ctrl A, all transforms to reset the location rotation scale into default, and add a mirror modifier. From the outliner, we can unhide head 1 and head 2. We don't need these references anymore. To create the button eyelashes, we're gonna use the same method that we just used. In the face select this one and this one, Shift D to duplicate, mouse right click, P enter to separation the object, A to select everything, E to extrude, Ctrl tab switch into the sculpt mode and add some adjustments, and that's it. Just if you want, select all these faces, I to inset face, I again. We're gonna ignore these eyes in the moment because I'm gonna show you how we can create eyeballs for this character later on. Alright, for the eyebrows, hold Shift, mouse right click to bring the 3D cursor into there. Go with Shift A, Mesh, Plane. Scale this plane down. RX 90 to rotate around the X axis. Now we need to turn on the snap icon. Click on Face Project and activate Project Individual Elements. In the object mode, A to select everything, G to grab. As you see guys, now we can snap this object on the surface. Select this vertex and this one. Hold Ctrl mouse right click to create new vertices. When you are done, make sure to create the base shape for the eyebrows. Shift S, cursor to world origin. Ctrl A, all transforms, go to modifiers and add a solidify modifier and add a mirror modifier. It's very important guys to grab the mirror modifier above the solidify modifier or other modifiers. Okay, we're gonna play with the thickness for the solidify modifier about -0.003. Ctrl 1 to add a subsurf modifier. I think the eyebrows are a little bit thicker than usual. Back to solidify modifier and change the thickness about -0.001. So guys, we're doing good job. I think this face looks so far amazing. That was all about today's video. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna catch you later.